Welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 27th of July for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, please check out beneath this video where you can tune in to the daily astrology and tarot video show, which is proving great fun, and you can grab your free daily written horoscope every single day. Or you can chat with me direct on Twitter at Horoscope Ace. This week begins with a passionate quarter moon in the sign of Scorpio, which is about desire. The sun is in the very warm-hearted and loving sign of Leo. So if there is any politics around a relationship, and it doesn't have to be purely a romantic tie, but if there's any possessiveness, control, jealousy, trust issues, maybe they do need to be looked at this week. Now also this week, Mars is in a square with Jupiter from Wednesday through to the end of the week. Now this is one of those influences which kind of makes it a little bit difficult for us to know our boundaries, because Mars is in its own sign of Aries, which is about initiating things, and Jupiter's in the part of the Zodiac which is very much to do with responsibilities and obligations. So if we do decide to do something in a bit more of a dash and try to inject extra energy and verve, we just need to be aware if it's appropriate for that particular situation. Also, towards the end of this week, the Sun is clashing with Uranus. This can make us impulsive, restless, particularly with our resources. Perhaps this could see us spend some money on something that suddenly we get the desire for. But equally, we may ask ourselves the question, should we splash out unless it's something that we absolutely essentially need in a more practical context? Also, this can be a time not to be too generous to someone we love just because we want to spoil them. Sometimes we have to remind people to take responsibility for their own affairs. Now, as this week draws to a close, a full moon in the sign of Aquarius is going to open up the next 7-day period. So it is important to be mindful of that square between Uranus and the Sun, because it is going to feature in next week's full moon. But it's the opposition between Mercury and Saturn which really catches my eye as the week draws to a close. And that could be a sort of sense of limitation. Maybe we're going to encounter someone who's not as sensitive to our situation, especially if we try to open up as we might like. So just watch out for someone who could be a bit cool, a bit snappy, or if we feel a bit more tense in ourselves. Your specific forecast, Aquarius, sees the Sun still in your sector of relating, but the Moon can see your emotions very close to the surface. So if there is a relationship which you're finding it a little bit difficult to get your voice heard, that could be a factor in the early part of this week. In the latter part of this week, your modern ruler Uranus is clashing with the Sun. Now, this influence could make you particularly restless around an intimate relationship, perhaps a home-based relationship. Perhaps it's just you're living with people, perhaps in shared accommodation, and you might feel that your space is a bit crowded, or perhaps it's the accommodation itself that's not quite working, or perhaps you just are feeling restless generally around relationships. And of course, part of being an Aquarius is that, we are changing, we're evolving because of that Uranus energy. But also Mars is in a very spirited location, the 3rd house, but in a clash with Jupiter in the 12th house. And information or knowledge or comments that are of a more psychological nature can create a reaction, a desire to push back. But as the week draws to a close, your traditional ruler of Saturn is in an opposition with Mercury. So I think energy could drop down a little bit as the week draws to a close. But this is all preparing the way for the full moon in your sign next Monday. And that's going to give you lots of ways in which you can start to move forwards more productively. And I'll tell you about that next time. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for having joined me. If you'd like to ascend above your zodiac sign and embrace serious astrology, please check out my affordable range of astrology reports beneath this video. You can get 30% off on a 12-month forecast and a character analysis, or check out the testimonials for myself if you would like to have a one-to-one personal consultation. Thank you.